What are you doing, big dog?
What you doing, man?
I just hanging out, having a drink. Every single one of my daughters has a. You can hear them. Every single one of my daughters has a damn friend over.
Yeah. Oh God. So all right. So if you got 5 and they all got friends, so you got 10 or 11 there.
Yep, I sure do, and
Oh,
it's awful, bro.
oh my God. Damn.
What are you up to, big man?
Uh,
Hey, I like that. Just so you know, on Facebook, I voted on it, but I like that first logo you put up.
yeah. So if you get back on Facebook, I did. That one did end up winning. So I did. I made my own where it said like slogan here. Because it was just a design at first.
Yeah,
But I did actually change everything, all the fonts and the slogan area. So
I got you.
it's officially done and reposted now.
No, man, that hey, dude, that first logo looked excellent. I
Yeah,
liked it a lot, actually.
I like the elegancy of it, and it stands out. It's not. I mean, it does have like their whole like round fact to it, and the arrows like every other logo out there. But I wanted something a little different. That way, it kind of stood out.
Well, no, it was good, and I think it kind of reflects just kind of the grittiness you have to do with archery. You're down to the point,
Right.
like you're all about the knowledge, and I think that's what that logo did for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, my wife picked that one out, so it kind of worked out. I let her choose. I showed her we went through probably thousands of different logo designs.
oh, for real.
Yeah.
So what are you doing with it? I mean, are you?
I may, I'm not going to do like a crazy like merch line or anything like that. I may do like 1 or 2 hats if someone wants one, that kind of thing. But it's mainly just going to be like for an online logo to be able to put my, name out there.
I got you. Okay. So you're doing something a little bit different, kind of away from like the podcast type deal, or is it
Well, I'm gonna.
correlated? Like,
I'm not sure how much of last night you remember on Burgies, but like I was kind of texting on there on the comment section. I was kind of saying that I'm gonna do like because all the platforms that I use for the podcasting, for some reason I get copyrighted all the time for music in the background like I have going now, and
yeah,
all that kind of stuff. And I'm tired of that, honestly. I'm tired of taking the time and the effort to post up videos, and they get brought down because of the copyright.
I got you.
TikTok is, kind of right now at least, it's a free platform. So I'm gonna do what I'm planning on doing with the whole podcast thing is I am gonna do a podcast, but like me and you were talking like right now, like on live. I would do that, and then of course, because TikTok, you can actually go in after you're live and download that live.
Yeah,
Well, it won't have all the comments on it, but it'll still be a video video clip of whatever me and you talk about.
right. I got you.
I would take that and then upload that downloaded video as an actual YouTube video for Drawback Outdoors.
But you're not separating from Eric necessarily, are you?
Yeah,
Oh, you are.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, me and him still collaborate, and I went on as a guest, last Wednesday night with Tim Gillingham, and we finally got that one out. But it's gonna drop. That episode will drop Monday.
I'm excited to hear that one.
Yeah,
I really wish I could have heard yours, but
yeah, I know, dude. I hated that. So that was another reason why I'm going to this platform instead. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to download all these live videos and pick and choose which one I want to upload to YouTube and stuff like that.
yeah, absolutely. No, man, I'm happy for you, bro. That's awesome.
Like a live podcast and Q&A with whoever I choose to be in the live that night.
No, dude, that's super awesome. I'm happy for you, man.
So, what do you got going on besides a zoo?
Well, the zoo. Outside of the zoo,
Moving in a couple days,
we're watching, huh?
You're moving in a couple days, aren't you?
We decided to hold off for just a minute.
Okay.
So my wife's getting ready to go to dental school here in the next year and a half or so. So we're trying to see where we were going originally. doesn't have. Okay, well, number one, it's really expensive, and we both got good jobs there, but um, the school is not close enough to allow her to live at home. So we're
Okay.
kind of throwing that around, man, because I mean, dental
Okay.
school is a big deal. If she goes there,
Oh yeah.
becomes a dentist, I mean, that's big money, dude. You know.
Oh yeah. I'm
But
assuming I could be wrong, but I'm assuming you're going to an archery shop out there, right?
well, no, probably
No.
not.
Okay.
I mean, I may start something eventually.
Right.
But I mean, I don't work for anybody right now. I mean, I kind of just hang out and collect disability for the time being.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the would I like to start something eventually? Yeah. But you know, it's more about her. You know what I mean?
Oh
You
yeah.
know,
Oh yeah.
she's worked her butt off, going to school, and she's getting ready to get into dental school. And if she gets through that, I just need to be in a place where she can feel comfortable, you know, traveling to school when she gets to that point.
Right.
And you know, because that's going to be a big change for our family, man, when she gets to that point, you know. So
Well, dude, I'm excited for you, man. I know, like I said, like you said, you gotta justify the means in certain areas that you're wanting to go, so you need to put it off on hold for a little bit.
well,
Under,
dude, she's followed me around my entire career, man. I mean, like you and I chatted about it, man. I did 16, 17, whatever years in the army, and she was happy to move to every place I had to go.
right,
And
right.
so, you know, there comes a point in time where I got to make a sacrifice as well.
Yep.
And
Time for y'all to switch out boots.
yep, exactly.
Yep. Yep.
Absolutely, man.
Cool deal, man.
So,
That's awesome. I'm happy for y'all.
no, I appreciate that. So is Eric going to keep doing what he's doing?
Yeah, yeah, he's still doing what he's doing, and more power to him. There's no hard feelings. I actually talked to him today. We still, pretty much love each other, best friends. Um, but it was just one of those things where he, like Bergie was saying, on his podcast or on his live last night, there's so many, whitetail podcasts. And Eric understands that. He's like, I know there's so many that he doesn't even like listening to, but he does put his own spin on it, and which everybody does. Everybody puts their own spin on their own, hunting podcast. But in essence, that's what it is a hunting podcast.
Yeah.
What I want to do with Drawback Outdoors is like what you want to do and like what Bergie wants to do. I want to do the educational side of it. I want to get, the arrow talk, the bow talk, all the way down to static spine deflection. I want to get all that educational stuff out there. But at the same time, when it comes hunting season, I'll dabble a little bit with the hunting talk and a couple guests and stuff like that. But I'm not going to do a hunting podcast year round, even when it's not hunting season. It's just you're at that point. To me, you're just beating a dead horse.
No, I agree.
I mean, of course, with me doing that kind of podcast, the educational side of it, of course, we're going to have that same deadbeat, conversation of the which broadhead is better or which veins are better. I get that part of it, and I'm willing to do that part of it because I feel that there's too many both sides of the spectrum that are viewed when there needs to be a middle ground that everybody can agree on, and the archery game doesn't need to have the social cliques that it does.
Well, I don't know. It's going to be hard to get away from that, man. It really is.
It's going to be hard to get away from it. I know it is, but I'm one guy. I can try.
No, absolutely. No, I wholeheartedly agree.
So
I really do think there are cliques in archery. And I think that the folks who are tied to whoever they're tied to take care of them. And if we could just bring those groups together, it would be, you know what I mean? It would be awesome, dude. Like,
right. And that's the goal. Is it going to ever happen to where I get, to the point where I get, 500,000 people to stop being in a clique? No, I know it's not. But it's if we can, like you said, if we can all come to some kind of camaraderie where we're all in agreement on something instead of just always being so negative when we're just trying. Me and you are just trying to get the archery game out there and get the knowledge out there and to help people. We're not trying to argue about who's better, what's bigger, what's better. I don't care about that.
Well, see, that's the problem is because archery is growing at such an exponential rate
It's
right
growing.
now.
It's growing so fast that the people can't keep up, and they're falling into these little cliques.
Correct. Yep. Absolutely.
And unfortunately, my opinion, some of those cliques are behind in the archery times. When if they look at some of this newer stuff, it could help them.
No, I agree. It definitely could. And this is the thing, man, is like archery is it's really about opinions and just seeing what works. I mean, if you have a good video or you have a good style that you portray in those videos, like I mean, you can go a long way with that, but not everybody's going to agree.
Right, and that's the other thing too. Is that's the other side of that same token of me trying to bring everybody together and have a good camaraderie within the archery community. But I also don't want to sit there and say, "Oh, well, y'all got to come listen to me because I'm the only right one here." And no, absolutely not. A lot of the stuff I learned is from you, from Bergie, from Q. I mean, I learned a lot from everybody, and I'm not going to sit there and say, if someone comes on, well, you're doing it this way, and yeah, you do know a lot of stuff, but there's also okay, cool. I'll take the criticism, and I'll take the I'm wrong. I'm not going to sit there and say anybody else is wrong for coming. If we all get to the same point, no matter how you get there, that's what archery is repeatability. Even if someone is drawing across their chest, and that's oh god, that's so bad for your shoulders. If that's what you do, and you can hit something like that. How we all get to the same point,
dude, more power to you.
Is irrelevant. More power to you. I'm not going to call anybody on here wrong unless it's flat out just something that is wrong. But if it's it's all opinion based, and if we can all just get to the same end goal, that's what matters.
No, absolutely, and I think that's a good way to take it for sure. So, dude, I'm excited for you, bro. I'm glad you're starting a podcast. I'm glad you're doing your own thing. That's cool, man. That's super cool to me.
Yep. So I'm trying. We'll see what happens.
Cowboy all day. What's going on?
Yep. Cowboy, how you been, man?
But dude, I'm pumped to hear your Gillingham freaking podcast. I'm pumped.
Yeah, it was a good one. I'll be honest with you. I was talking to Eric about it after the podcast was over. Obviously, I was a guest on there as well. So me and Tim, we touched on a few of the things that I like to talk about.
Yeah.
But I told Eric, I was like, dude, after listening to it, I got to talk for maybe 20 minutes out of that podcast. The rest of it was, of course, Eric's podcast. So it's a hunting related podcast.
Hey, curiosity, did you hit him with the reflex question?
No, I wasn't able to because Eric and him.
Dang it, bro. JD, come on, bro.
They wouldn't stop talking about their, hunting stories, and I couldn't get a word in. So that's what kind of pissed me off with Eric. And I called him right afterwards and told him, I'm like, hey, did that, I know we were all trying to, collaborate together on this podcast, but I got a few technical questions in there, but most of it was all just hunting stuff.
Dude, I really wanted to see an answer to the reflex question. I really did. Because I don't know shit about that, bro. Because I can shoot any bow. I can hit a fucking $quarter at 50 yards all day long. But I really wanted to understand how reflex in the riser affects the shot. And I think Tim can answer that.
So my best answer for it is, first off, do you understand how it's measured?
Reflex? No. Yeah. Dude, I know nothing about reflex.
Okay.
Nothing.
So the throat of the grip, like where your hand goes in the grip.
Yeah.
I don't have my bow here to show you. But All right, so the backside of the limb pocket, where the limbs come, the parallel limbs come over. If this is your riser and this is
Yep.
your limb, and back here is your cam.
Yep.
So you know how you have those 2 points. You get the front of the limb pocket and then the back of the limb pocket.
Yep.
So the back of the limb pocket straight down the riser, and if your throw to your grip is in line with that or behind it, you have a deflex or a negative reflex, and that allows for a more forgiving shot because of the flex of the bow.
Gotcha. So does that? So
like a Hoyt, for instance, where it's got that crazy bridge riser.
yeah.
That's like a 2 or 3 inch, depending on which one you get, like a 2 or 3 inch reflex, which isn't going to be as forgiving on the shot.
Gotcha. Though my Hoyt was the most accurate out of any bow I've ever shot.
I got you. I'm not saying it's not accurate, and for someone that's, I'm not saying you by any means because I've seen you shoot and you're crazy with it, but for someone that isn't as accurate, having one with a higher reflex would actually be harder to shoot because of the fact that it's not going to be as forgiving.
Yep, I can agree with that.
Yeah,
I'll agree with it. Hey, get Bergie.
Like my Darton has a 0 reflex on it. There is no reflex at all. 0 inch. It's completely in line with the back of the limb pocket. So
hey, real quick, JD, get Bergie in here. I want to hear his explanation because Bergie's good, bro.
Yeah,
Bergie's good.
Oh, he's awesome.
He's off.
He's awesome.
No, I was saying he's awesome.
Oh, dude.
So I invited him, but we'll see.
No, he'll jump in.
He may be busy because I know he ended his live, so he may be doing something. No, there he is.
Burgalicious.
Burgalicious.
I can't stay for super long, but basically, like reflex, like how I've always like referred to reflexes, like exactly how JD described how you measure it, but the easy, like the layman's terms, like blue collar way of explaining it is like the further the grip is forward, the easier it is to hold because there's nothing in front of the grip to like struggle in your balance. Like it's like holding a broom, like if you hold a broom by the handle and like try to balance like the sweeping end of the broom out there versus holding it by the sweeping end and like trying to balance the small end. Like when your limb pockets are so far in front of your grip, it just takes longer to get steadier with it versus like the further the grip is forward and the more vertical the riser is, the easier it is to aim.
So another thing too is that I just thought about when you were saying that, another analogy or way that you could look at it is Midwest. If you have if you run your like on a dovetail sight and you run your sight all the way out versus in towards the riser, each little thing that you do is going to be magnified the further out it is.
Right, and that's like that's why like a lot of people will run overdraws.
Magnify anything else.
Like a lot of people will run overdraws on target bows, but you can't really like on like a Hoyt with like.
Dude, JD's running an overdraw.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, but he has a zero reflex. If he had like a 2-inch reflex and he tried to run an overdraw, it would be a nightmare.
Oh yeah.
No, I know, but he's got his setup freaking solid, bro. Like,
I appreciate that, man. Appreciate it. I got my let me see if I can get on here. That's one of there's my 2 Robin Hoods in the last week. So
I think reflex definitely plays a role in like how well you can hold, but I think
how big, Bergie? How big is the reflex of the riser in a shot process? Because a lot of these bows that are out nowadays have very similar reflex measurements, but how does it play a role
See, and like that's
in
where I
regard to
kind of
accuracy?
struggle. That's where I kind of struggle because, like, yes, I definitely hold better with like a low reflex bow, like closer to zero. But what I find to be more important is proper draw length and proper let off. If
Absolutely.
if your draw length isn't absolutely dead nuts and your let off is not in a comfortable spot for your shooting style, yeah, I don't care what your reflex is, you're just not going to shoot as effectively as you can. So, do I think reflex plays a role in it? Yes. But I mean, let's look back at last year, ASA. Um, Levi Morgan went out and won a tournament with his Phase 4 hunting bow, which had a higher
It's like a 2
reflex than
3/4
his target
reflex.
bow,
That's
and he
big.
still crushed everybody. But
Yeah.
his draw length was set perfect, his let off was set. So, like, I think those factors have a bigger role than reflex does.
The other catch to that though is when you're running a hunting bow at its phase 4 and you've got a 2 3/4 reflex, you've also got a shorter brace height than a target bow as well. So that plays an effect as well.
Right. Yeah, I always try to, like, if I have to go with like a higher reflex, like a 2 3/4 reflex, I want a 7 inch brace height for sure. Like that's where like my bow has a 3/4 inch reflex. My hunting bow has a 3/4 inch reflex and a 7 1/8 inch brace height. Like for a hunting bow, like you can't get much more
You can't,
forgiving than
you can't
that.
get any better than that, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Like I said, I came off of an obsession that had a 6 inch brace height, and now I'm shooting. Obviously, it's a target bow, but now I'm shooting, a zero reflex with a 7 5/16 brace height, and I love it. I love it.
Yeah, the Dartons have me pretty interested right now. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Yeah. Oh, did you get my message back, Bergie?
Mm,
You were asking me about the dealer shipping and all that stuff with Darton.
later.
Do what?
Did you hear me? Did you hear me?
No.
Oh, I said, yeah, I got your message, but I did send you a text that you can get to later.
Okay. Cool deal.
Hey JD, get Bergie on your podcast.
Oh, well, I mean, you know what?
Eric talked to me about it.
This
Why didn't you
little
do it?
thing that we're doing right now is probably going to be the first episode.
Oh, you're
I,
you're
I
gonna
got
get
both of
live
y'all
on
on
it?
here, so I might as well just go ahead and post this one once it's done.
No, I think you should. And I'll tell you what, man. Out of all of these folks in the archery industry, I probably have the most respect for Bergie just because, dude, he knows what he's talking about every
I'm
day,
right.
all
I'm right
day.
there with you. Me and you were tied for the most respect for Bergie.
And there's a lot of things that he's put out, articles he's written, et cetera, et cetera. I've read a handful of them. But it's correct, man. I mean,
I've read them all actually. I sat there and I went through and read every single one of them.
oh really?
Yep. Yep. I got mad respect for Bergie. I got mad respect for you. So yeah.
Yeah, I just try to, like, my whole thing is like I just try to, like, facts don't care about feelings, man. Like there's certain things that I like that, are not as forgiving or as accurate as other things. Like for example, I'm a big HHA guy, okay? And HHA does not have a first axis adjustment. So inherently, if I buy a HHA sight and the first axis is not perfect, like you're just kind of shit out of luck, man. I mean, you're gonna have to fudge with your sights a little bit and kind of set it wherever you get the best results. But for me, I really like all the other features in an HHA. Now, could I go to like a UV slider or a XL land slide or something else and get a first axis adjustment or a black gold? Yeah, I could, but I prefer an HHA, and I know that it doesn't have a first axis adjustment, and I know that that could pose a problem. But all the HHAs I've ever had, the first axis was set perfectly, so I've never ran into any issues with it. But that's just like one of those things for me. Like, yes, I know that it is not as precise as a sight that has a first axis adjustment, but I just prefer HHA, so I'm just going to keep running HHA. I'm not saying anybody's wrong if they hate on HHA because it doesn't have a first axis adjustment, because you know what? I wish they had it too. But there's too many good things for me that I like about HHA that keeps me buying HHAs.
And it's kind of like me and Shane were talking about earlier. Everybody's opinion to get to the same point, is perfectly fine, because if you take that same situation where HHA doesn't have a set first axis, look at Paige Pierce. Have you seen hers? Her second axis is so far off because when she actually holds the bow, she actually holds it canted on purpose. It's because that her elbow injury that she had from a car wreck years ago prevents her from holding more, straight. So
Yeah, she's fully extended and twisted.
So she has moved her second axis, and so if you hold her bow flat, her sight looks like it's like this.
Right.
It's all what we can all do to come to the same point. If it works, it works. I'm not here to bash anybody.
Yeah,
Well,
and
there's no one way to do this sport. I mean, whatever it is that makes you hit the bullseye is what you should be doing.
Exactly.
I mean, look at
archery is all about repeatability, and if you can repeat it and be accurate, keep going.
what's that one guy's name? He shoots professionally. Lutz or Latz or
Jimmy Lutz.
Oh, Chris Lutz?
I don't know. He's a big time trigger puncher. I know that.
Yeah, that's Jimmy Lutz. He just switched over to
Oh,
Matthew.
Jimmy Lutz. Sorry.
Yeah, Jimmy Lutz. Dude, I watched a video. That dude punches the trigger so bad. I watched him flinch so hard that I thought he was going to let down his bow. That's how hard he flinched.
Wow.
Bro, have you ever watched Kyle Douglas pull a trigger?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Bro.
But you know what? Those guys could probably smoke us.
Exactly.
Oh, no, absolutely. I've shot with Kyle. I've shot with Kyle. Matter of fact, JD, you threw out there Brady. I just talked to Brady today.
Oh, yeah?
Brady Hampton. Yeah. He's a good buddy of mine. But he even him, man, he refuses to shoot a thumb, even though he shoots a thumb better. He just, I don't know, man. When that kid wins something, dude, nobody's gonna compete.
I mean,
as soon as he wins.
So last Foley, when he won, non-pro, Kyle Douglas.
Yep.
Can you? I just had to sit here and think about this for a second. Obviously, he, the whole weekend he shot like 60 up, and then he goes into the shoot down and he wins. I think he ended up getting like a 540, almost 550. But I didn't know that Thursday his grandfather passed. So he shot
really?
he shot that entire weekend in the mental state that he just lost his grandfather and went and won the whole thing. I mean, that's just, I get nervous in my, just going up to a regular local, state shoot here. I couldn't imagine dealing with something like that and going out and winning.
That's crazy, man.
He is a mental
Boys,
Godzilla.
I gotta go smash these fucking tacos because these tacos are calling my name, and then the toilet's gonna call my name after that.
Yep.
But JD,
Get it, Bergie.
JD, let's create a group chat with you, me, and Shane, and let's get a scheduled time where I can like dedicate some time to sit down and we can do a live, all three of us.
Okay. All right.
And because I don't want to just be, I don't want to like pop in, pop out. I want to actually like dedicate the time and give you guys the respect that you guys deserve to have my full attention for the whole time.
Okay.
Well, no, it's good, man, because you've got a lot of
keep
knowledge.
this one in the archives as like a little, test run. But yeah, we'll schedule out a real one.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I feel so bad like popping in and popping out because like you guys deserve like full attention while we're doing this. Like just out of respect for both of you guys, like you guys deserve full attention and all that stuff. So I want to make sure I can provide that.
Hey, Berger, appreciate it, man.
All
All right,
right,
you be
boys.
good, brother.
Yeah, for sure. Talk to you guys later.
All
See
right.
ya.
Yeah.
So, Shane, how you liking that? Which ones you get now? You got the Prime now, right?
Yeah,
How you liking that one?
it's a bow, man. I mean, every bow shoots the
I just
same.
haven't seen. Once you did the string thing, I haven't seen you doing anything. So I'm just asking, how's it been?
Well, no, it's just because I'm getting ready to move.
Yeah.
I don't really have time to post good content. But it's coming back up shortly. I mean, I'll jump back on here shortly.
Sounds good, man. No worries. But the bow's still doing good for you, though.
Oh yeah. But I'm gonna get out of here too, man.
All right, man.
But the hey dude,
Yeah.
like Bergie said, hey, set something up for us.
Okay.
And we'll get after it.
All right, man. Sounds
I
good.
love Eric, I love Eric too, but he ain't got the knowledge you got. I'll just throw that out there. So I love Eric. Don't get me wrong, Eric. If you're listening, I don't know if you are.
He actually he is denied by his boss, aka wife. He cannot have a TikTok, so you ain't got to worry about hurting his feelings on TikTok.
Oh, okay.
Now, if we ever do a full length podcast version of this, and I do post it, he'll see it that way.
Well, that's fine. Let's get on and actually do like a good, solid live. And honestly, I think Bergie is a very good person to have in that. He knows what it is, bro. Like, Josh Jones took Bergie's articles and made them his own.
I'm
And
so glad that Bergie copyrighted everything now, so it doesn't happen in the future.
well, man, I hope not, dude. I don't want no legal battles, but the the guy knows a lot about fucking bows, and I really consider myself on the same level Bergie is, because I've been doing this for so long. But it, man, dude, it's just hard to talk shit. It really is.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
In that situation. So, but be good, brother. I'll talk to you here shortly.
All right, man. We'll see you.
All right.